He was lying on his bed, phone in hand, scrolling. Another reel, another post, another day gone. He whispered to himself, "Why does everyone seem ahead, while I'm still stuck here?" After that, his little brother walked in, holding a cardboard box. Inside it, a half-built robot he made with broken toys. "Look what I'm building," he smiled, proud. He blinked. That one moment hit him harder than 1,000 quotes. He realized he wasn't scrolling, he was building. No fancy tools, no excuses, just small steps, every day. That night, he deleted these apps, opened his notes, wrote the first line of the book he always wanted to start. You don't need more time, you need less distraction. Stop scrolling, start building. He didn't tell anyone, not his friends, not even his parents. But every night, he cried quietly into his pillow. And in the morning, he smiled like nothing was wrong. At school, they called him funny and strong, but no one saw the tired eyes behind that laugh. No one noticed how often he said, "I'm fine." He wasn't fine, he was breaking, alone. One day he stayed after class, not because he had work, but because the silence of an empty room felt safer than pretending. That's when his teacher asked, "Are you really okay?" For the first time, he didn't lie. He cried, and she just listened. No advice, no judgment, and that changed everything. It didn't fix the pain, but it reminded him he wasn't invisible. He wasn't alone. Sometimes the loudest smiles hide the quietest suffering. You don't have to carry it alone. Speak. Break the silence. It's the first step toward healing. They used to sit together every lunch break, laughing, sharing snacks, drawing silly comics. They even promised best friends forever. Then one day, she just stopped talking. No fight, no reason, just gone. She waved in the hallway, but she looked away. She messaged, "Did I do something?" No reply. And for days, she sat alone, wondering what she did wrong, wishing she could fix it. But then she realized something. Some people leave without saying goodbye, not because you're bad, but because they're not brave enough to be honest. She didn't stop being kind. She didn't stop being a good friend. She just stopped waiting for someone who already walked away. And one day, someone new sat beside her, smiled, and stayed. The people who are meant to stay in your life won't leave without a reason. She walked into class, head down, hoping no one noticed her. But they did. Laughter echoed as someone whispered, "Look at her clothes, again." She tried to smile, tried to pretend it didn't hurt. But it did, every single day. Lunch was the worst. She sat alone. No one ever joined her. At home, she cried silently. But then, she opened her notebook and started to write every insult, every tear, every feeling. Days turned into weeks. Her notebook turned into poems, poems into stories, and stories into a book. Years later, that same girl stood on a stage. Her book, a bestseller. The audience, standing, clapping. Among them, a few familiar faces, the same ones who once called her worthless. She looked up and said, "I forgive you, because you made me stronger than I ever thought I could be." The world might try to break you, but sometimes the cracks are where your light begins to shine. He sat on the edge of his bed, phone in one hand, job offer in the other. Everyone was proud. "It's a stable job, good pay, secure future," they said. But his chest felt heavy, like he couldn't breathe. He always dreamed of starting his own thing, a small business like a YouTube channel. But every time he tried, that little voice came back. What if you fail? So he kept choosing safety over freedom. That night, he didn't sleep. At 6 a.m., he sent one email. "Thank you, but I have to say no." It didn't make sense to others, but for the first time, it made sense to him. Freedom isn't always loud. Sometimes, it's just quietly choosing your own path. The life you want won't come knocking. You have to build the door yourself.